Told our guys in preparation for Penn State that there was a lot of swings in their games, and obviously I didn't know if they were ever going to miss to start. I waited and waited and waited and waited to try to get to a dead ball so I didn't have to burn a timeout, but that didn't work. But in that timeout, I told our guys, let's settle in. They're not going to make every shot. They put a ton of pressure on you. This is a team that had Virginia Tech at Virginia Tech down 35. We all know Virginia Tech beat Villanova. This is a team that had Penn State down 25 in the same building. And we just had to get established. The first 13 minutes were a struggle defensively. And then the last 7 were really good. And we knew we could score at the mouth of the rim. Obviously, Kofi and Georgie going 15 of 18 proved that. And then I'm so happy for Adam Miller. Got on the floor for a loose ball, and that won't show up in any stat sheet, but that's a play that we have not been making. And he made that, and it turned into a big play. Jacob Grandison off the bench. I couldn't be happier for that young man. He works extremely hard. A lot of extra possessions created by him. And then he's a really, really good shooter. So we knew at the end of the Rutgers game, he made one. And then I thought Georgie was outstanding in his minutes tonight. So very nice night for our bench. Very nice night for Curbelo with 8 assists. And he stayed out of foul trouble. So all in all, we did what we had to do to get a road win, and it was nice to withstand something, not cave in, not quit, and just stay the course and found a way to pull away.
Okay, we'll start off with Robert Rosenthal, followed with Jeremy, and then Jim Matson. Go ahead, Robert.
Yeah, Coach, I want to go back to that timeout. 19-4 before that timeout, 94-62 after it. And it seems like it was a little more than they stopped making shots. They were continuing to hit jumpers, but you came back. So talk me through that comeback.
Well, again, I told them in the timeout, they're not going to make them all. But the one thing that they did was that they spaced us out, and we knew that they were going to try to pull Kofi away from the rim. And they could do that with a couple of their bigs, and Harar's very good in dribble handoff actions. And then Buttrick is a very good three-point shooter. So we expected that coming in, but we got clipped on screens, and then they started driving us. And all of a sudden it's going from garden shoe tops to layups at the rim. And, Jones is a terrific player. He's a guy that once he hits one can really get going. He hit a couple over the top of Trent and it got going. And then, Brockington is a much improved player in terms of being able to shoot the ball, and he had a great first half. So it was just a matter of settling in, and I thought we did that the last 7 minutes, Robert.
And then I wanted to ask about the very end with Io and the little dust up and the 2 technicals. What did you see? What did you say to him?
I'll be honest, I didn't see him come in the first time. It's not what we're about, and again, it's the emotion of a game, and we all know that Io's a young man that is first class, and yet he felt like he was standing up for a teammate, and I didn't see it. But again, there's always lessons to learn, and that was unfortunate with 27 seconds left that we couldn't just get out of there.
Thanks.
All right, Jim Matson, Derek Piper on deck.
Hey, Brad, Jacob Grandison, you mentioned him. You've talked about, him developing a role. What did this game mean for him? What did you get out of him?
Well, everything. We know he's a very good offensive player. He's a very good shooter. His hustle plays, his energy, whether it's calling the timeout, one of the big plays was missed free throw, getting an offensive rebound. And that's just execution of a free throw play we run. And again, it was an effort defensively where he was much better. He was good. And I'm excited. I'm like I said, Jacob's a good player, and we need him. And hopefully this will springboard him out of his slow start.
He said you challenged him to make those toughness plays. Have you seen that out of him before in practice, or what's
Yeah,
been-
but like with everybody else, Jeremy, on an inconsistent basis, and he's a terrific rebounder. He's a high motor guy, and he uses quickness instead of strength, and tonight he did that. And you don't block him out and hit him. I mean, he's got that ability to go grab rebounds, and got some big ones tonight.
Thanks, Brad.
Sorry, Jeremy, I didn't mean to jump over you. Jim Matson and then Derek Piper.
Brad, real quick, will there be any ramification of an ejection for IO going forward to the next game? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know. The official told me that there are no issues with there wasn't a fight. So I'll have to double check with it.
The 98 points tonight, I think Kent said it's the most in a Big Ten game in 49 years on the road. I mean, I'm sure Penn State's saying, hey, we're up 15, but Illinois can score. I mean, talk about having the team with the firepower you have to come back.
Well, we do. We're good offensively, and we have been good offensively. It's not going to, more than likely it won't stay. As the grind gets going, it was amazing. We were talking as a staff today. I think there's 4 of the top 10 scores in the country are the Big Ten, and what happened to the big slugfest all Big Ten? It's fast tempo and guys playing fast, but it's really good players. Iowa's the best guard in the country. Garza's the best big in the country. You've got Harper turning into one of the best forwards in the country. It's an old league. Guys are experienced. They've taken a million shots, and you make a mistake and they hurt you. So it's nice to have that, and we got it from a lot of different areas tonight, and it was good to see.
Thank you.
Hey, Derek Piper, Scott Ritchie on deck. Go ahead, Derek.
Hey, Coach, you guys are now, to piggyback off of that, you're now 5th in the country in offensive efficiency. Oklahoma State, you were number 1 overall. I know you didn't have that same size when you're at Oklahoma State, but do you see any parallels, and what do you think is the ceiling for this team at that end?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I don't look at, I look at where we can improve. And I think that, we missed so many free throws early in the year. It's not always going to be this easy. It's not going to be, it'll get challenging on Saturday. But I think we've got guys who can make shots. I think this is a part of what you see from great passing teams. My Oklahoma State team was a very good passing team, Juwan Evans especially. And then I had a 5 who could really pass. So, we could run a lot of offense through that, and this team does that. And, you had Io and Adam and Trent and Curbelo. DeMonte Williams is an elite passer. Georgie's a very good passer. And now all of a sudden, offense can get a little easier when you can pass the ball.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay, we got Scott Ritchie. Go ahead.
Brad, if Jake can give you this type of performance maybe more consistently, how does that change maybe what you're able to do as a team when you've got that coming?
Well, again, you know me, I'm always looking for production off the bench, and he gives us that, and has the ability to give us that. And, he shoots it at a very high clip, and he can play a couple of spots. He can play some small ball 4, and yet we can play DeMonte and him, or we could play Georgie and Kofi together and play him at the 3 some. So he knows both of those spots because he can play offensively both of those. So he gives us a lot of choices coming off the bench with subbing him in and at different spots.
And then with Andre, he had maybe that one pass where he didn't look entirely thrilled, but are those moments becoming fewer maybe just as the season progresses?
Yeah, I got to learn to live with a little bit of that. He sees things. I saw what he was looking at, and I knew it was going to be a turnover because he just didn't see the guy. It was the right play, which he makes most of the time. But you think about, he just got 8 assists on a night when they tried to not help off of him, and they tried to make him go finish. He's a better finisher than what he showed tonight, but. Guy finds 8 assists, and their game plan was to not help off of, make him a finisher, and pretty gifted that way.
Okay, Brandon Simberg, and then Joey Wagner. Go ahead, Brandon.
Hey, Brad. Defensively, you guys have allowed over 80 points in the last 2 games. What do you guys need to do to improve on that end?
I don't know. You want me to start walking it up, playing less possessions? I mean, that's a question that that doesn't really have an answer. I mean, we're one of the elite teams in college basketball in transition and playing with pace. We've been averaging in league play, I don't know what the number was tonight, 34 points a game in under 7 seconds, 33, I think, going into tonight. And I'm sure that number's up. So, you know, we got to make things more difficult. I'm not worried about the number of points they score. I'm more worried about the challenge of the shot than I am and the mistakes that we're making. We made, you know, way too many again, and we got to correct that.
Okay, Joey Wagner, Matt Stevens on deck. Go ahead, Joey.
Hey, Brad. Jacob said, you know, he kind of looks at Io's game and it's just another game of Io being Io, but that's 30 points, 6 boards, 5 assists. I guess, how scary is that when that's just another day in the life?
Pretty good to have that on your side. It's not going to be there every night. Io's a really good player, and I keep saying it, and I'll keep saying it all year. He's the best guard in the country, and he scores it in a lot of ways. And you know, when we got into the bonus early, it was going to be a steady dose of Io DeSumo handling the ball and putting pressure on the front of the rim, and you know, he's rebounding it better than he ever has. He's guarding better than he ever has, and you know, when we get Io locked in at the defensive end, he might be as good as I've coached.
Okay,
And
we'll
Jacob
go.
talked about. Can I go? Am I good, Kent?
You know, Joe, we only got time for a couple more
Okay.
questions. We get through Matt Stevens and then Brad Sturdy, and that'll wrap it up. Go ahead, Matt.
Brad, so Penn State goes to this matchup zone in the second half, and it still looked like you were able to get to the front of the rim with a layup or a dunk with a big. Can you talk about your execution against zones and just how it seems like your veteran team has just been able to figure it out, how to still get to the front of the rim and at least get to the foul line when they're trying to force you to shoot perimeter shots?
Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm very big in zone offense about getting the ball inside. I think you know, teams can fall in love with threes, but you know, we ran 3 little sets that we've always run. And again, you know, you get Io, you get Curbelo in the middle of them. We got Georgie, you know, called an offensive foul, but he had a wide open post up. But you know, that's where we like to get the ball, even against zone.
Okay, and then Brad Sturdy, that'll be the last question. Go ahead, Brad. Maybe.
Coach, Kofi was dominant inside again. Did you do you feel like you got more of a, you know, you were talking yesterday about the foul calls and things. You feel like you got more of a fair shake inside tonight?
Well, they didn't touch him. I mean, they really didn't. They just, I mean, a lot of those were really just, I mean, he caught it and they, you know, we wanted to attack their press with him at the back end of it in hard post ups, and they get in a lot of cross matches trying to match up. And early, his first 4, I think, were all just either against the press or in a real quick hit with Curbelo on layups and with nobody around him. So I'll hold off on that. He didn't get hit tonight, but you know, he was so efficient again.
Okay, thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope everybody's safe and enjoys time with their family. See you on Saturday.
All right, I think we have a couple quick
Coach.
announcements for the group media that are on here. Derek has a